Okay, so there's like a little bit of a problem with Acheron. Okay, so now that Acheron's out, I can publicly say there's absolutely no crit rate whatsoever in this girl's traces or in this girl's kit at all. There's no crit rate. Good luck, sir. But it's okay, because her signature light cone's gonna give her crit rate, right? Crit damage. Crit damage. Excuse me. But even an idiot like me could tell you that having even an infinite number of crit damage means absolutely nothing if your crit rate is like 50 or something bad like that. So why then is my day one not very well farmed out Acheron walking around with only 51% crit rate? Well, let me show you why. Let me introduce you to Acheron's Eidolon 1. When dealing damage to debuffed enemies specifically, it increases the crit rate by 18%. Just so that you guys are aware, this 18% will never, and I mean never, show up in battle. No matter whether you are paused on the status screen in combat or whether you are building your character in lobby, this 18% will never show up. You specifically have to attack a debuffed enemy, and only then will it matter, and it will never show up in combat. And that's not all. I don't know if you guys have heard of this character. Her name is Xuan. She gives you 12% crit rate in the middle of combat. This is incredibly valuable. This 12% crit rate from Xuan, as well as the 18% crit rate that could be coming from Acheron's Eidolon 1, give you a total of 30% crit rate, which is astronomical. There's just one problem with that. Xuan's a premium character, and Eidolons are hard. Oh yeah, and I didn't even get to the best part yet. Sparkle, who gives us absolutely no crit rate, but she gives us an action advance forward, a plentiful amount of skill points to work with, and a ton of crit damage. And that's not even the best part, right? Because y'all probably sitting here like, well, at least I have my free-to-play Pela that is definitely relatable and super free-to-play friendly. So the current Acheron build team right now is Acheron, Pela, and Sparkle, as well as Xuan. There are a multitude of reasons for this. Don't you worry, I've already considered Gallagher and Aventurine. They will be the focus of future videos. For right now, I mainly want to focus on this team setup here, maybe some Silverwolf sprinkled in. Let's talk about Pela for just a brief moment here, okay? Pela is built, just so that you guys know, for a massive amount of effect hit rate. The reason why you need this really big effect hit rate number is specifically because of her light cone. Her light cone that you have to pair this light cone together with your Pela for an Acheron team. Its resolution shines as pearls of sweat because it has a debuff attached to it. Even if your Pela does not debuff through one of her attacks, she will get the debuff through this light cone as long as you have large enough effect hit rate. We could go into the fine details of that, but that's not really the point of the video. You need a lot of effect hit rate to make this hit guaranteed 100% of the time. So your Pela loses out on damage, which is fine. You just build her for super duper high effect hit rate and super duper high speed, and then all of a sudden your Pela works really, really well for your Acheron team. She's a skill point generator, as well as a guaranteed amount of stacks for your Acheron's talent. So it's kind of funny that the one thing that was supposed to be free-to-play friendly for this Acheron team was supposed to be the Pela. But no, not even the Pela is actually free-to-play friendly because she's built for a very, very specific thing. Yeah, sure, literally every player could do this, but not every player is going to be aware of it, because if this Pela is not hitting her debuff every single turn, no matter what, she has failed as a Pela, and that is a rough day. And yeah, this Sparkle is not relatable either. This Sparkle is here specifically to let Acheron build her own stacks for herself. You let the Sparkle use her skill which in turn lets Acheron attack, and then Acheron uses her skill, and then Acheron builds 2 stacks towards her ultimate rather than just getting, let's say, 1 out of the Pela, thanks to the ability from Sparkle. Sparkle, she kind of gets to cheat because that's just what she does. She's just a cheating character, and she's good at it. And then the Xuan, she's only good here because she's broken as hell. You can literally put this non-optimal light cone on her, Trend of Universal Market, which has a burn DOT attached to it. So you can now turn what was just a normal, ordinary, run-of-the-mill preservation unit into all of a sudden a generator for Acheron's stacks through Trend of Universal Market towards her talent, which inevitably ends up building up Acheron's ultimate. So this team, very, very fun. Very, 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 very good team. I'm loving this team, but this is not free-to-play friendly in any way, shape, or form unless you've been playing literally since day one and you pulled for very, very specific units. Even this Pela, yes, everyone can build this Pela. It's just an effect hit rate speed tune Pela. That's literally it. But even this Pela is very specific. So I have to say, despite the fact that free-to-play players can build an Acheron as free-to-play at E0, it's still going to be not as easy of a task as you can get out of like basically any other DPS. And I'm not going to lie about that. I love this character. I pulled very deep for this character. I have Eidolon 2 signature light cone of this character, okay? But I have to be honest with you. This is not a free-to-play friendly character at all. Like, I'm one of the advocates that will say, if you know what you're doing and you build the character well enough and you know what you're doing, you build them right, that this character can be built as free-to-play. But you will simply not be able to reach the upper echelons unless you have certain things. And that needs to be mentioned more. All right, so here we are in combat against literally just any random enemy. We have 67% crit rate and 320% crit damage. That's because of Sparkle's buff, but the crit rate buff actually comes from Acheron's set bonus from the relics that she's wearing. I'll show you guys my relics in just a moment here, but something important that I wanted to show you is while we are in combat, we see we have that 67% crit rate. You have to add that to the 18% that you only get when you attack enemies and only if you have Acheron's Eidolon 1. So my Acheron specifically has 85% crit rate when I attack these debuffed enemies because, let's be honest here, Acheron has debuffs, Pela has debuffs, and they're very, very reliable. I've already debuffed the enemies. When my Acheron attacks the enemy, it will have 85% crit rate. I'm gonna end up getting my crit one way or the other, okay? I'm not worried about my crit rate because I have 85%. But not every single player has the 4-piece bonus from her relic set. Not every single player has her Eidolon 1. Not every single player has fucking Xuan giving an extra 12% crit rate, because I didn't even mention that part yet. Xuan gives 12% crit rate in this particular moment in time. Not everybody's gonna have that, which makes it a lot harder to build a truly optimal Acheron team. However, Acheron could be the lowest crit damage character you have on your account, and it wouldn't even matter. As long as you find a way to hit your crits, she's going to absolutely destroy everything in your path. Everything's gonna die. Just look at what's going on with the ult. Forget every other ability that she has. This is just gonna be her ult. This big ass paragraph, this big ass paragraph, this big ass paragraph, And then this big-ass paragraph. That's not her whole kit, brother. That's one ability that she has, dog. Let's read her talent. Oh my god. What is this bullshit? What is still going? What? She doesn't... Does a character truly need all of this? What does her skill do? Oh, thank God her skill's not that big of it. Oh my God. Thank God her skill's like actually reasonable. Everything else is ridiculous. Now I know all of this has just been one big ol' hubbub by a big dumb me. All just to say, Acheron is free-to-play friendly as long as you have good enough substat rolls for crit rate. If you don't have good enough crit rate substat rolls and awareness to how to build the character and how to build the right teams for the character, you're just gonna be ass. Like, you're just gonna be bad. Like, your Acheron is just not gonna be that good. And you wanna know what's really funny about that? You're not even gonna know that she's bad. She's so goddamn good that you could have a bad Acheron and not even know about it. And she will still clear the content because she's that good. But that is her problem. And she's not technically free-to-play friendly because of this crit rate issue. Jokes aside, she does have a crit rate problem. That is her issue. There will be a lot more Acheron content coming in the future for you guys, so stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your evening. I'm gonna get some rest. Peace.